So actually, we as a consumer, we don't
Are you
really
aware
know
of the
about
average bill per unit?
All of you are kings and queens in your own home with your own throne that you can sit up and decide and let the business continue to woo you.
Welcome to another episode of Consumer Voice. This is the in-house program of the Consumer Protection Council that tells you all about your rights as a consumer and how to enforce them whenever you feel they have been breached. Today, society relies on electricity to function properly. We depend on electricity for everyday activities like blending of food items, barbing and dressing our hair. Even a more complex activity like manufacturing requires electricity to accomplish. Given its importance to life, disruption in electricity supply makes us unproductive and miserable. That has been the lot of the average Nigerian consumer. Electricity supply in the country has been very erratic over the years. Successive governments in the country have taken different steps to improve electricity supply and reduce the suffering of the average consumer. One of such steps was the privatization of electricity generation and distribution companies, otherwise known as GenCo and DISCOs, respectively. 2 years after privatization of these companies, there are numerous complaints of the alleged rip-off and abuse of consumer rights in the distribution of electricity. These include, but not limited to, overbilling, non-provision of meters, and payment of fixed charge, even where there's no power supply. Today's episode of Consumer Voice promises to bring you face-to-face with electricity consumers in the 6 geopolitical zones, highlight common complaints among electricity consumers in Nigeria, and discuss the recent intervention of CPC in the electricity industry. Still on this program are our usual segments on question and answer, CPC's activities and updates, Consumer of the Week, and feedback from consumers. But first, we'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll go straight to what electricity consumers are saying in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Stay with us. Welcome back. To bring you face-to-face with electricity consumers in Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones as promised, CPC's media crew in Abuja, Lagos, Awka, Port Harcourt, Minna, Katsina and Bauchi have been on the move. In bringing you this report, our first port of call is Abuja, and here's what Abuja consumers are saying.
This NEPA issue, they need to iron it out very well. In the sense that some area like where I stay in Kwankwashi, under Niger State, in Suleja, we don't have what is called meter. They only bring fixed bill to us. At least if they can, if government can make it possible for us to what we call prepaid meter, so that at least you know what you use, you know what you consume. At the end of the day, like where I stay, they ration the lights. I know some areas are improved, but some areas are not yet improved. Of which they still ration the light. Like where I stay, they give us 2 or 3 days when we have lights. And at times, the one they bring not even up to 2 or 3 hours, the light will chip off. But at the end of the month, they will surely bring the bill.
Don't use meter, but I do. NEPA do collect my money. I don't know how they call it. I just pay my cash. That's all. They don't even give me any bill.
You don't have a meter.
I don't have a meter, but I do pay my bill. They don't even give me a paper covering the money I pay.
How do you do that, sir?
So that is the way we were taught to do it. And so if you don't comply that way, your light will be cut off.
A prepaid meter, the complaint we do here is they don't have meter in stock, and even when they are supposed to install meter, they will tell you they require a certain amount of money or things like that. But the truth is, even if you go to their office, they will tell you no prepaid meter for now. It's not fair for one to pay for what he or she didn't actually consume. So I will advise the PACN aspect to try to make sure that at least everybody has a prepaid meter, because you have to pay for what you consume. Just like you have your handset making call, if you load 100 naira, you know that you're making 100 naira, as in, I don't know if you get me. So we should be able to pay for what we consume. And then the other aspect, the other challenge we do have most time is NEPA might bring bill today. Maybe the bill is supposed to be due for, maybe they will say maybe in 3 days they will come for a disconnection or whatever. But most times they don't wait for the actual day to, maybe the next day you see them cutting light and they will tell you maybe your bill is much or you have not made any commitment. That is why all those things are uncalled for.
We want the federal government or the NEPA to explain to us what is fees charge in prepaid. Because in this market, you charge 2,000 naira, they remove 702 naira as fees charge. They remove 100 something naira as VAT. At the end of the day, what you are recharging is just 1,200 naira out of 2,000 naira. We don't even know what is called fees charge. Nobody has explained fees charge.
So you are not exactly happy that there's a fixed charge?
Nobody is happy, not even me. All the traders are angry in the market.
On the streets of Lagos, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, the story of anguish is palpable.
The new inauguration of the new administration, at least they've improved tremendously. But for close to a week now, we've gone back to the epileptic power supply, because they normally give us 3 hours electricity supply in a day now. And we don't know what is responsible for that, but generally they've been fair.
The power sector, we still have a long way to go. The industries are not still being properly, serviced. And then those at home, recently there's a slight improvement, but we still have a long way to go.
The power sector is improving. We are having more lights, more than the other time, as in the last regime. So they should work on their power sector, but they have improved drastically. Business is booming. People that are selling cold drinks, they are getting cold drinks, not like before where you can't get cold drinks. There are blogs. People working in the business center, they are working effectively because there is light. So let them keep it up. It's good.
I live in Abeson State. They said we should bring all the meter out and put it out, that they will be coming to put the prepaid meter there. For almost a month I've done that now, and we've not seen anything about prepaid meter. Even my neighbor, they always give me estimated bill. He has about 100,000 to pay. He went there. They said they will come and give him the prepaid meter, and he has been waiting for almost 2 months now. He didn't get the prepaid meter, and they took that money from him. And he's even seriously annoyed now. I want to tell them to call that they dupe him.
While there appears to be a consensus that electricity supply in some cities has improved a bit in the last 3 or 4 months, there are still complaints about unduly long power outage in others. This was the case when our crew visited the streets of Port Harcourt and Bauchi.
Yeah, my name is Omale Sunday. I live at the Eliozu axis, a place called Ligbolu to be precise. You know, NEPA, that is their former name. To me, they are not doing well. Recently, it seems that things tried to improve, but all of a sudden, we went back, and the situation now is more terrible than even what we used to have. And I noticed something about the NEPA people. It's like they consider area where they have some big people, and the lights over there, it's always stable. Like in my area, there's a place called Rukwa-Kulushi. The light there is very stable, but our own part of the city, we don't always have light. Are they selective on the way they serve the populace? So to me, NEPA, they are not doing well. They need to buckle up and make Nigerians happy. Because if we can give light to other countries, I don't know why we that generate the light, we cannot enjoy it. It's a very pathetic situation.
The power sector, the power itself, NEPA, isn't it?
Yes.
I don't know what they call them now, but we have issues in my area. I live at Rumibo, number 8 Kesiolo, off Rumibo, 30 Mogu Crescent, off Kesiolo, Rumibo.